The warrior archetype in a man is an embodiment of masculine power, strength, and resilience. Let's talk about this archetype today. My name is Alina, and I'm a mindset and energy coach. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Soon, I'll publish my ebook, Masculine Archetypes, which will help you to understand your masculine nature better, who you really are as a man, through understanding your main masculine archetypes and embodying them too. The first thing we'll discuss will be about the positive sides of the warrior archetype. The first thing we have to understand is that the warrior archetype is an embodiment of true masculine energy. It's like the most pure, the most clear understanding of what masculine energy is. But the thing is about the warrior archetype is that it's not about maturity. It's still not mature masculine energy. Because the warrior archetype contains a lot of teenage aggression within. And that's why it's important to balance this archetype with others. I have a video about other masculine archetypes. You'll find it in the description box, so it will help you to understand yourself even more. But anyway, it's not only the masculine energy as it is. It's about, really fiery, really active, really aggressive energy. And when it's healthy, when we're talking about the healthy variation of the warrior, it's about healthy aggression. This aggression helps to earn money, to be in a good shape physically, to be attracted to women, to have high testosterone and therefore good mood for men. So this energy is really, really important. And I'm talking about, again, aggression, not even the masculine energy. But still, the warrior has a lot of aggression within. And this aggression, if we're talking about it psychologically, because I'm a licensed therapist, the root of it, a teenager in you. So this energy has the root here. Not like an inner child with the prince archetype, not like your inner adult as in the king archetype, no. Your inner teenager. That's why a man with the warrior archetype is so active, aggressive, ambitious. He really likes the speed because this type of men, they really like to collect cars. They're really interested in cars. They're like, like Ryan Gosling from the Drive movie. Or they like races, all about this, all about the speed cars and so on. It's a clear sign that a man has the warrior archetype as the leading one for him. They're also really focused, really disciplined. They're really determined, like they know what they want and they get it. They're really, really logical beings. Really logical. Because it's a pure masculine energy. And masculine energy is all about logic, it's all about planning, it's all about, discipline, it's all about aggression and so on. So they have it all. But if we're talking about a man with the shadow warrior, well, now think about an image of a teenager who has difficult days. That will be your answer here. He's really destructive, aggressive. He thinks he's the smartest in the room. But in terms of the warrior, if we're talking about the warrior now, as the energy in the shadow, he's not connected to his feelings and emotions, because this is like a really difficult part for men with the warrior archetype, because they are again all about the masculine energy, logic, and so on. So they do not understand how it's like, even to feel. Some of them have closed hearts, some of them have fear of being vulnerable, showing your feelings, because for them it's like, I'll become a feminine man, which is not true, because it will make you more complete. Actually, you'll have your wholeness when you'll do so. You will understand yourself more, who you really are. And this type of men, they have this toxic masculinity in them. Like they think that the man has to do this, wear this, act like this, men shouldn't cry, all these kind of things, they have it within them. And this creates this masculine crisis any masculine man has, especially with the warrior archetype. Because when a man disconnects himself from feelings because feelings are feminine, like I shouldn't cry, like I shouldn't allow myself to feel, like I will be a feminine man, I shouldn't do that. You should. Yeah. I allow you. Anyway, this creates this crisis any man has, like with a lot of masculine energy, with the warrior archetype. When a man disconnects himself from his feelings and emotions, he contains all of it in him. He doesn't understand himself anymore, who he really is, what he really wants. And that's why he puts this aggression externally, like, to solve his internal conflict. That's why there's so many destructive masculine behaviors around us in terms of how men rule the world, how men act towards women, all these maniacs, psychopaths, and so on the streets. Have you noticed that many of them are men? I'm not saying that women are not capable of this behavior, they're also capable, but many of them are men. Because men have this issue with facing their feelings, real emotions. So you have to understand that you will not be feminine. It will not make you feminine. If you face your emotions, you will become a human being, actually, who you really are. And this whole global spiritual awakening that is happening, because if you found me, you can sense it, you can like look around, or you're on your way to this. Now it's important for men also to notice who they really are, to understand who they really are. And the root, the access to it, comes from their hearts. And their hearts are all about feelings and emotions. So therefore, it's an essential thing for men right now to feel, just to feel, to identify what do I really feel towards this, that, and myself first of all. That's a really deep thing, right now I'm saying to you. That's for sure. So yeah, men with the shadow warrior, they're really destructive towards the world, first of all, because men usually put their aggression externally. Women put their aggression internally. So women destroy themselves, men destroy others. That's the psychology, here. And now let's talk about how to balance this archetype. I think I already gave you an answer here about feelings and so on. So, to reconnecting with yourself, to giving you this access, this, privilege, this ability to feel. That's the first thing. And, it's all about your inner woman, actually, because an inner woman contains your feelings, emotions, your connection with the feminine world, like with the feminine. So if you want to be successful in a relationship, you have to understand your inner woman. This is like a psychology. Because if you will not understand your inner woman, you will never be able to understand how women feel, what they want, and so on. So a man with a warrior archetype, he really needs to balance this part in him, because otherwise he becomes way too destructive, way too logical, way too aggressive, unbalanced in him, and it destroys him. So he needs this balance. Maybe this type of man can find a woman who will balance them externally, but we have to find everything within ourselves. That's my honest opinion. So you shouldn't rely on someone else, even if you're in a couple. So for example, you break up and like again you find another one who will like replace something you need to seek in yourself. I hope you got it. Another recommendation I have for this type of man is to find the other archetypes that will balance you, because it's an essential thing here. Because again, there's a lot of energy, it's like fire, and you have to balance this fire in you through the other archetypes. Maybe it will be the artist, maybe it will be the king, But I recommend, still to look more into the feminine in you, into your inner woman, into your feelings to, have this balance. Because if, for example, there will be the king archetype, it's also about a lot of masculine energy. So I don't know. Still, you'll need to find this balance in you. That's an essential thing here. And also, the third thing I think will be here healing the masculine in you. And why is that? Because all of this energy in this archetype is all about the masculine energy. And if it's toxic from the beginning, from the root, it will be toxic just in general in you, in your reality. And it will be seen through like everything, how you work, how you exhaust yourself, how you're like disconnected to yourself, how you feel empty, That's why men face, this 30s years old crisis, because they need to find themselves, like who they really are. And they can find themselves who they really are when they face their own feelings. That's the root. Healing process of the masculine in you starts from your inner man, and your inner man has the root of it, like your inner man masculinity in your father figure. So if you had issues when you were a kid, and you cannot understand it, by the way, consciously. You can see it only when you face your subconsciousness. So, in a deep work, in a meditative state, in a therapy, and so on. By the way, I have private sessions. You can work with me one-on-one. You'll find information in the description box below. So, you'll have to face it and your relationship with your father figure to understand your real masculinity in you, to raise it, to make it more mature, and so on. I think it was a pretty deep video about this archetype. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. My ebook, Masculine Archetypes, will be published soon, so stay tuned. Bye bye.